per month product. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we are live. If you can hear me and see me clearly, anyone, please do me a favor, a huge favor, and just drop a yes in the chat box. Just anyone. I want to make sure the audio is crisp because what we are sharing today is too important for any Amazon seller, new or seasoned, to miss a single word of. Go ahead, if you can, just go pop a yes in the chat just so I can know you can see and hear me. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. All right, we are going to give everyone a couple of minutes to settle in. I have our special guest who's going to be admitting people here onto the call. And grab a notebook, grab some water, close out of the other tabs while we wait for the room to fill up. Let's get a pulse on the room. I love doing this because e-commerce is truly a global game now. Let's see where the hustle is happening today. Put a 1 in the chat if you are joining us from your home in the USA or the Americas. That would be me, but I'm not in America today. Put a 2 in the chat if you are joining us from your home in Europe or the UK. That's a 2, and that's where my mum's from. Put a 3 in the chat. This is my favorite group. This is kind of what I am part of. If you are joining us from a country that is not your home, maybe you're a digital nomad, maybe you're working from a cafe in Bali or a beach in Mexico, building a business from abroad. I am number 3. I am currently in Sweden, near Stockholm, small town called Uppsala, here for another month. That is the dream, right? The ability to work whenever and from wherever the heart desires. Thank you for joining us today. You are in the right place. So good evening to everyone from Europe. Good afternoon to everyone in the USA. And good morning, Australia. We have people from every time zone. Why? Because the opportunity we are discussing today knows no borders. It doesn't care where you live. It only cares about your commitment. We are going to dive in shortly with our special guest. But before I introduce our special guest, I want to set the stage for why we are here. I want you to think back 3 years ago, 10 years, 20. Do you remember what your dream was back then? Maybe it was to retire your parents. Maybe it was to present for your kids' milestones, to be present for your kids' milestones instead of stuck in a commute to work. Maybe it was just the freedom to say no to a boss. I want you to be honest with yourself right now. Are you where you want to be? Or are you where you thought you would be? If the answer is no, or not quite, that is okay. That is why you showed up today. We have a saying here, and that's money grows on trees, but time doesn't. Think about it. Money is everywhere. You can lose money, but you can also make it back. But time, if you waste today, you never get it back. That is why we appreciate you being here. We know these types of training webinars usually are locked behind a paywall that costs $300 or $500. Today, you're getting this live and free. We respect your time, so we are going to ensure this is value-packed for you. Now, we are in 2026. The landscape has shifted. I know some of you are seeing the headlines about AI. People are scared. People are losing jobs. The economy is shifting beneath our feet. But while some are shrinking back in fear, others are jumping on the opportunity. Now, the real-world stats show that more millionaires are likely to be made in 2026 than in the last decade combined. Why is that? And that's because of leverage. Because of the tools like the one we are going to show you today, you are in the right place and at the right location to take control of your income if you focus on the right things. Now, one quick housekeeping question, okay? One quick housekeeping note. You need to stay until the very end. We are not here to just talk to you. We are here to equip you. At the end of this broadcast, we are giving away a gift. Now, this isn't a PDF you'll never read. This is access to something that will give you the confidence to launch your next successful product. So if you are multitasking, please stop, close Instagram, put the phone away. If you missed the product dating phase we are about to show you, the marriage won't work. Now, final question before we start. If you want to learn how to find and dominate success on Amazon, who do you want to learn it from? Would you ask your grandma, whose passion is growing a lovely garden of roses and selling them at her local coffee shop? She's sweet, she works hard. Or would you rather ask someone who is dominating sales on Amazon right now, selling 8 figures a year, and knows how to do this again and again and again? Let's see it in the chat. Put a 4 for grandma, put a 5 for the 8-figure expert. 4 for grandma, 5 for the 8-figure expert. Brilliant. You made the right choice. The man I'm about to bring up is an 8-figure seller. He has been blessed with a lovely wife who he travels the world with, building this business. He is a keynote speaker at Amazon conferences across the USA and Europe. He is the CEO of DataDive. He invested his money that he made selling an e-com to build DataDive to give him the edge, and now he is going to share that edge with you. And those sellers and agencies and brands that find it, they're jumping on it. So we want to share that with you now publicly. Now, he is here to freestyle a live demo for you. No scripts, just raw data to show you how to find a product worth dating and validate if it's worth marrying. Get your pens ready. Please welcome Brandon Young. Over to you, Brandon.
Thanks for the introduction, Sean. Absolutely brilliant. What I want to talk to everyone about today is how to find the next product that is going to help you build your business. But the reality is, as you build your business, it is not just one product that will make or break your business. It will be building and finding many products, because this is a numbers game. And so I, in my own business, have done over $80 million in total revenue. Our brands still do well over $10 million a year. But in order to do that, I've had to launch over 1,000 products on Amazon in the last 10 years. So we started private label in 2016. We started selling on Amazon in 2015. And many of those products didn't succeed. We didn't continue them. We've discontinued them. And it's because they have a lifespan. They have a certain amount of time that they will be working or profitable. You have disruption from competitors. And that disruption is what I want to talk to you about today, because we want to disrupt the current bestsellers. So the premise of how to build a successful business on Amazon is to look at the current sellers and understand how every single one of them is getting their sales. And then how can we do a better job? What are they doing right? What are they doing wrong? Who are the people buying and searching for that product? And what can we do better? And then that's what we're going to look at. And that's what DataDive shows you. So DataDive is a tool that you can use to break down the demand and break down how those sellers are getting their sales. But it also integrates some great AI tools that we can use in order to understand the risk of doing that product, what the current sellers are doing right, what people are saying that they like about the product, what people are saying they don't like about the product. And then the AI is also going to give us some suggestions on how to potentially build a better product with more value. Then we're going to go into AI, and we're actually going to have some fun and design a potential product using AI. And then we would market test that. So this is our entire process. Look at the current sellers, look at the data, figure out how to potentially win, design a potential product, and then test it with real people. So we actually get 30 or 50 people to answer the question, which one would you rather have, this one or the current bestsellers? Now, they don't know which one is a concept or an AI art render, or which one is a real bestseller already on Amazon. They are basically looking at 4 options, which is the 3 bestsellers and yours, and choosing which one they'd rather have. And if they don't choose yours the majority of the time, that's your cue to go back to the drawing board and go try to redesign a better product that gives more value, right? And so let's walk through that process today of how this looks and how you can start and find that next product, because it's really great. There are different requirements that each of you have. All of you are starting with a different amount of capital. Maybe you've already started on Amazon and you've got some revenue coming in. Maybe you've got a larger, pool of investment dollars that you can deploy towards this business. Maybe you only have $5,000. The reality is you're going to need to be able to break down what the total demand of that market is, how the current sellers are getting their sales, and what the budget would be required for you to do that product. DataDive helps you with that too. And then you're going to launch a product that gives you a certain amount of profit per day if everything goes right. So what does that mean? That means that if I have a product and I'm expecting to sell 20 units per day, and I sell that product for $25, and every single time it sells, after my storage fees, after my landed costs, after my ad expenses, right? All of those expenses, I am netting, and then the commissions and FBA fees to Amazon, I am netting at least $5 per sale there, and I sell 20 per day. So the idea would be that I'm making $100 per day profit after all expenses on this one SKU. Now, that's not enough to change your life, $100 per day. Not for most of you, right? And so we can think to ourselves, well, that's great. That's a hobby. That's some side income. That I can manage one product 10 hours, 5-10 hours a week after I get it launched and everything. But let's do that 10 times, right? Let's get 10 products making us at least $100 a day. Now we've got $1,000 a day in profit. Now we've got a business that's generating a few $100,000 a year in profit. That's a business that we can turn around and sell. That's a sellable brand. That becomes a brand more than a business, a side business, or a side hustle. And that's what private label allows you to have a path to do, is to scale, to build a business and a brand that is sellable. And that's the unique part of this. So we started teaching in 2018. And when we started teaching, it was because we had figured some things out. We knew what data to look at. We had pieced data together from a couple different sources, Viral Launch and Inventory Lab and or Seller Lab. And then Helium 10 came along, and we started using Helium 10 data, and we'd pull that data in and we would manipulate that data. And we had a very high success rate. Over 70 to 80% of the products that we launch would be profitable. Now, that's a much higher batting average than if you're just going to guess on launching a product, right? And that's because of what I'm teaching you today and what Data Dive is built on. That's why we built Data Dive. Now, because of that methodology that we started teaching in 2018, we've had thousands of students who have gone through Seller Systems, now Seller Systems Academy, and hundreds of those sellers have gone on to become millionaires because of their Amazon business. Because that same business doing $1,000 a day in profit, profiting $365,000 a year, can sell for at least 3 times the annual revenue. And that's $1 million. So that's just 10 products making $100 a day profit for you. Now, if your success rate and the number of products that you keep is 50%, that means you need to launch 20 products in order to get to those 10 that are generating that profit for you, that are generating that $1 million business. So it's not just about the first product or one product or falling in love with one idea. You have to look at hundreds and hundreds of potential products and run the risk assessment, and the same assessment we're going to run today, so that you can find the right product. So it is a numbers game. This isn't going to be you launch 5 products and you sell your business for $1 million, right? Now, again, some of us have more capital and we can launch more than one product at one time potentially, or launch more products faster. We can also enter markets where the products are more expensive and move faster. So it's generating more than $100 a day in profit. Maybe it's generating 300, and it would only take 3 of those to sell our business for $1 million. So there are different scenarios that you need to be able to play out depending on your situation, which is different than everybody else here. All right. So I want some suggestions. First of all, how many of you are already using Data Dive? Put a 1 in the chat if you're already using Data Dive, a 2 if you are not using Data Dive. Okay, this is great. We have a really great mixed crowd. A lot of veterans in here already using Data Dive. And if you're already using Data Dive, has it already helped you to start making money? Is it already helping you in your business? Awesome. Not there yet, but it's definitely helping massively. Okay, awesome. Well, there's 2 main functions to Data Dive as it sits today. We have a lot of new tools coming out around inventory management, around dashboards and ads management. That's in our roadmap. But for today, we have 2 main functionalities. The first, which we're featuring today, is that product development piece. We are the best product development software in the space because we look at data the right way and we look at the competitors the right way. But we're also the best SEO tool. So we will actually help you once you find the thousands of keywords that people are using to find your product, because it's not five keywords or 10 search terms. It's usually hundreds of search terms that people are using. We will help you to prioritize those, to build your listing correctly, but then to launch ad campaigns targeting those keywords so you can rank. And then once you are ranked on those keywords, we will help you to continue to push those ranks forward and track that progress on a day-to-day basis, giving you alerts on what is working and not working, or if there's any potential issues to your listing. So that is what we do better than anyone else once you've already launched, which is the SEO side. So today we're going to focus on that first piece, which is the product development piece. All right. Let's get some suggestions on a product. I love doing this off the cuff. I don't want to have a pre-planned product. I want to tear it down with you, walk through my logic and how I look at things. So let's get some products ideas. Let's start with a category. Go ahead and just put a category in the chat you want me to look at. Sports is a great category. Office, home, and kitchen. All right, I got home and kitchen 3 times first, so that's the one I'm going to do. So I usually wait to see which one comes in for 3 times. Got 2 for sports, but sports was too slow. I love sports. I actually have a sports brand that I've launched last year that I'm expanding, so it's quite exciting. I still have 5 brands, and I recently, just a few weeks ago, took over managing one of my brands again for the first time in a few years. So normally this is a team effort. We have over 25 members on our team, and I took over one of our brands because I wanted to get in there. All right. Let's go ahead and look. What's my opinion about crafts? It's very, very difficult, Julie, because generally it comes down, and it depends what kind of crafts you're talking about, but it generally comes down to how many pieces you're offering. You have to have very good images and content to display the value of what you're presenting. And sometimes the keywords are more generic. It's more of a toys type business in that way. So like crafts for 4-year-old girls is a very wide and broad keyword. It's not very specific to your product. So your conversion rates are going to be lower, more difficult to index and rank. And so that becomes a more expensive product to maintain and to launch and maintain and grow. So that can be the case. Now, if there is a lot of specific demand around the product, then it can be great, because then you can rank really well for those if you can figure out how to add more value and launch that product. So this is what we're going to talk about today a little bit when we're breaking down the data. It's like, well, what are the specific keywords? What are the generic keywords? What are the keywords we can expect to have a high conversion rate? How can we win, right? That's what it is. All right, so we're going to go into home and kitchen. Now, give me a product idea, home and kitchen. Don't give me, garlic press. That's been around forever. But give me some product ideas for home and kitchen. Flour sifter, meal prep, drawer extensions, cast iron. All right,
Great stuff. Keep them coming. Jamie, towel holder. Greg, silicone lid. Melanie, coffee filter cartridges. Daria, sheets for bed. Nice. Lots of variation for sheets. Lots of variations. Seen listings with 100
All
different
right,
variations.
sorry about that. I had someone that I heard definitely come into my office, and I didn't. My office door is closed, so I didn't know who it was. No one's supposed to be walking in my office right now. All right, so let's see. We will go. Let's look for a flour sifter. I've never really gone after that one. Let's see if we can make something unique there. I like towel holder too. We can do something fun with towel holder. Let's go do that one. So the way Data Dive works, And I'm going to share my screen right now so you can see it. I'm going to do paper towel holder. So I'm going to actually change that. Now, you showed me a really cool as background. Let's see if this works. All right.
Good.
Hopefully you guys see me on this. I learned this trick from you. But wait, I'm on the it's showing the desktop though, right? Let me try that again. But I have to show the screen. Okay, here we go. Okay, perfect.
Anna says no, do flour sifter lol with a rotating handle.
Okay. Hopefully my machine can handle this type of presentation. But am I now on the screen and you see the screen there?
We do. I do.
Perfect. All right. Awesome.
Says yes.
Sean, this is a great trick. I'd never done it this way, but this seems like fun. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I want to look, first of all, at try to find one of the best keywords, right? And so what I'm doing is I'm going through and I'm understanding what the market is, what types of paper towel holders exist. You have the ones that hang, right? Like this one. You have the ones that stand on their own, which, you know, is clear. And you have a bunch of these already. Now, these are the ads. So not necessarily the best sellers, but this one's selling 10,000 per month, 4,000, 3,000. So pretty good. Very low price point. And you've got these, right? And so this one seems like it, you know, it's got this unique pole in here that might hold it more tight. So one hand tear. So it provides a one hand tear because it provides a little bit of tension, I imagine. That's my guess. This one provides the tension with this instead. OXO, major brand, usually not very well indexed for most keywords. Like I've seen them have issues with the garlic press that we mentioned earlier. They've got a coupon going. And so this is great. We could probably do something unique. Now, a lot of people are using this for the aesthetic, but a functionality as well. So stands on its own, doesn't need to be secured to the wall, and the one-hand tear and different colors and aesthetics. So like the base having a certain color to match decor maybe. That's kind of what I'm seeing. Now, I don't know if they all have variations or not. We're going to look at that. But here's the way Data Dive works. There's two ways to do a dive. Now, the premise is that, and the reality is that most sellers are not ranked on the first page of every single keyword. So what we're seeing here on paper towel holder is a lot of good sellers, but there might be the 4th best seller and the 8th best seller who are not on the first page or even the second page of paper towel holder. They might be getting their sales from a whole nother set of keywords. And so what we need to do is look at multiple keywords and potentially multiple subcategories to find the best sellers. Because when we create our niche, we want to find the best sellers. Now, you can do that by adding them to tray. So this guy's selling at least 1,000 per month, 3,000 per month. Again, 3,000, 10,000, 10,000. So I take these best sellers and I'm doing all the stand-up ones and I'm adding them to tray. Now, what does that mean? That means in my Chrome extension up here, I've got my tray and I've got them here. Now, once I go to multiple subcategories and I go to multiple keywords, I find and curate the best 10 to 15 sellers. That's one way. That's the manual way. But what we've also done in Data Dive is to create an algorithm to have Data Dive go try to find the best sellers that are most related to this product. And so I'm going to use this seller that's doing 10,000 a month that isn't OXO because they're a private label brand, it looks like, and that's more likely to be indexed well for all the keywords than that one. So I'm choosing this one instead. And I am going to do a niche dive. Now, a niche dive is going to basically allow Data Dive to go do all of that searching for me. Go look at multiple categories, multiple keywords, and come back with a list of dozens and dozens of competitors that it thinks are closely related to the one I chose. And then once it puts them in this list right here, I'm going to look for two things. I'm going to look and make sure that they fit what I think is the niche that I want to compare. So I can do a broad niche of paper towel holders where I include the ones on the wall and the stands, or I can do the more narrow niche where I'm including all of the ones that just stand on the counter, right? Now I'm going to do the more narrow niche for this example, but Data Dive gives it in two ways. So here's the SOP very clearly. I am going to sort by fit score. This is Data Dive's score to determine how closely related these sellers are to the one that we chose as our hero when we click niche dive. And then I'm going to sort by sales to make sure I don't miss anyone selling a ton of units that is also related to our niche. And I'm just looking to include only sellers that are making some amount of decent sales. Because if I include a seller that's not making a lot of sales, I don't have any data from them that I can use. So basically, we're just trying to find people that are doing well that we can take their data and use it to make a better analysis of this product. All right. So since it's sorted by fit score already, let's go through and make sure that these guys are what we want to sell. And it looks like so far that these are all the paper style. Now this one's a hanger, so I'm going to get rid of it. All right. And so all I do is click it off. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just clicking off if they're not related. All right. Now I took those guys off. Now let me sort by sales. And let me see if any of these are the types of paper towel holders or kitchen accessories. Because remember, there's generic keywords that are driving some of these. And see if any of them are the not hanging one that are selling a lot of units. And I think Data Dive did a pretty good job of giving them the right fit score based on what we had picked. Here's another one here. Selling 1,500 units a month. So 50 units a day, moving pretty good. And we have to get all the way down here. These guys are still moving a decent amount. And Simple Human is coming into the market. I think that's a pretty big brand, private label brand. Osprey here. Okay. And that's enough. I like to have at least 10 or 12 up to 15 or more, as long as they're all making sales. Now, this is the paper towel holder. I've named it, and then I'm just going to hit dive. Now, what Data Dive is doing is going and actually looking at all of the keywords that each of these are individually ranked for. What does that mean? That means that they could be ranked on page 10, and we're going to find that keyword. But just because they're ranked on page 10 doesn't mean it's a good keyword. It means that maybe they're indexed, right, for it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they are getting sales from it. So once we do that, we're going to find that there are actually thousands of keywords, but very few of them actually drive sales for the product. So we have to break these keywords into 4 buckets. The first bucket is going to be the trash can. That's the bucket of keywords where no one's even on page 2, right? That no one's making sales from them. So we can get rid of those for you. Then we're going to break it down into 3 other buckets of keywords. And the first is the master keyword list. So you'll see the master keyword list here. And the master keyword list looks like it has 377 search terms. And from the 377 search terms, there's 1.5 million search volume. So it's really, really significant amount of search volume. So a quick analysis of what we found to be keywords with at least 30% relevancy and at least 450 searches a month is that we found 377 of those and 1.5 million search volume. That's a lot of search volume. And we already saw that people were selling thousands of units per month. So let's go ahead and click into this. The other thing that I quickly look at, the total revenue is almost $1 million a month spread across those sellers. And then I look at the strength of these sellers really quickly. So you got 13 sellers that are considered very strong and 3 that are considered strong. Now, what does that mean? That means that they are on at least 80% of that search volume. They're ranked for that. Okay? I consider someone that can rank for 80% of the total search volume demand of a niche to be very good at Amazon. I mean, they know what they're doing when it comes to SEO. They are writing their listing correctly, they are running the right amount of ads, and they are ranking their product pretty effectively. So they're pretty good at Amazon, right? Now, if they're on only 60% of that search volume, they're strong. They're all right. They're beatable, but they're strong at Amazon. If they're only on 40%, then I consider them to be weak, and below that, even very weak. So super beatable, right? Now, the issue is that when we first look at the master keyword list, and we've got all of our sellers across the top here, it's a dirty list of keywords, right? So I'm going to go through and try to make sure that the story makes sense from total sales, pricing, variations, right? I'm going to look at all that in a second. But I want to paint the picture first. But take a look at all these keywords here, right? This is a dirty list of keywords. There's going to be branded search. There's going to be keywords that are like hanging or, keywords that we can't make sales from that I want to remove, right? And so that's one of the first things I'll do after I really analyze the niche a little bit. I'll clean up this master keyword list. Now, from the other two buckets, which I'll explain in a second, those other keyword buckets, the outliers and the residue buckets up there, I'm going to explain those in a second, because we're going to find keywords there potentially that we can bring over to the master keyword list, because we want to continue to build that master keyword list into a very good list of keywords that we can drive sales from. So we're going to use that list to go write our listing. We're going to use that list to go run ads. We're going to use that list to track our progress and ranking. And so that list, the master keyword list, becomes like the center of everything for us in this niche if we decide to move forward. So it's important that we curate the list very effectively. Now, let's paint the picture. Let's see that the story makes sense here for number of keywords and search volume and ranks and sales. Like, where's everyone getting their sales from, right? Well, this guy, STWWO, Chinese seller, private label brand, they've got 12,000 sales a month. That's a lot, right? 12,000. Now, NifGaff, another private label seller, is at 9,000. And OXO, being one of the top major brands of kitchen products in the world, is at 6,000 in third. And then you go down from there. So why is this guy getting almost 3 times as many sales, 4 times as many sales as these guys down here? Well, we look that he's on the first page of 99% of the search volume on this master keyword list. That makes a lot of sense, right? And if you look at OXO, they're doing a pretty good job for a change. They're at 96% themselves. But why are they doing even better than OXO? OXO is a known brand, higher conversion rates. They're ranked higher on a lot of these keywords. Well, look at this. This is the outlier search volume, and that'll be my clue number 1. There are 47 additional keywords and 900,000 additional search volume that this guy's ranked for that a lot of the other sellers are not ranked for. Because what we do is we break down these high search volume keywords with only a few sellers ranking on them into one of these other buckets called the outliers bucket. So that's another clue right there. And I'm going to go show you how to quickly look at that in a second. The other thing I look at is number of variations. To me, OXO, being a major brand, only has 2 colors, it looks like. They have 5. More options up to a certain extent will increase your conversion rate, because people feel like they need to shop. And if you have everyone in your niche has a bunch of colors and variations and you don't launch with a bunch of options, you're going to have a lower conversion rate and a harder time launching that product. So you need to look at that, because that's part of the story. Again, we're trying to paint the story and make it make sense. So number 5 here, like they've got 5 variations, but this bestseller, we're going to go look at them. We just click on the outliers bucket here. Let me pull this up real quick, and I'm going to sort by what they're ranked well for. Now look at this. Towel holder stand. To me, that is a very descriptive term of what this product is and does. Why are they one of the only ones ranked well for it? Excuse me. OXO is number 24. These guys are number 6. The rest of these guys are not. 1 second. Sorry about that. So the way Amazon works is that there are different root words, meaning that out of all the list of keywords, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of keywords, there are going to be repeated words and phrases. Now, knowing what all the repeated words and phrases are allow you to write them into your listing. And if you don't know what they are and you can't identify them, you might leave them out because you don't know that people call it that. And so what I would say is that my guess is that towel holder stand may not be written in this guy's listing. The word stand. And if you look here, they wrote paper towel holder, premium stainless steel kitchen roll dispenser, countertop roll organizer with weighted base. So we've got a roll organizer, we've got a roll dispenser, and we've got a paper towel holder. Those are the routes that this one is prioritizing, and they're completely missing this one with a good amount of search volume. And if I want to know how big that is, right, and there's others, there's more generic keywords. Generally in this list, we're going to find branded search, generic keywords like black kitchen accessories, countertop decor, black house decor, like house things, right? Can we expect to like launch and rank on those keywords right away? The answer is no, right? Like we're not going to be able to beat this guy at a lot of these keywords right away. But we can find a gold nugget like this one, right? How big is stand as a keyword, right? And if we put stand in here, we've actually got 3. Now this search bucket up here, or this search bar here, searches all 3 buckets of keywords. This one will search just this bucket, right? And so there's 3 keywords here: standing hand towel holder, countertop towel stand. Let's go ahead and put those. And then I'm moving them over to the master keyword list. And if I come over here to the master keyword list, there were 23, maybe now 26 keywords with stand, and it's 30,000 search volume. It's a pretty significant amount, right? Now, these guys are ranked pretty weak for a lot of those keywords, which makes sense because they didn't write it into their listing. Oxo managed to rank for these keywords. Paper towel stand, paper towel holder stand, stand up paper towel holder, right? And kitchen towel stand is different as well. And if I ever want to see what that is, so kitchen towel stand, is it our product or is it a different product? And look at this. This one's actually different. It holds a dish towel. This holds a dish towel, right? Maybe there's an opportunity for us to create a paper towel stand that also holds a dish towel. So off of the top, maybe like it's a quick release, but like there's a bar that comes out and we can hold both at the same time, right? There might be a design there so that we can create an opportunity there. Yeah, this one's interesting. So again, this is not super relevant. It's somewhat relevant, right? And so understanding the relevancy or the specificity of a keyword or a keyword route will help us to understand if we can compete on it, right? It helps us paint that story. And you can see here that some of these other keywords, they're just not indexed well at all. And that gives us an opportunity to beat them. But let's go back to that outlier bucket because there were still 900,000 search volume. And what I'm looking at to paint that picture is, why is this guy so much better than everybody else? Well, look at these other keywords that he ranked for. Countertop decor, black kitchen accessories, towel holder. Again, pretty generic because there's a lot of different types of towels, right? There is kitchen accessories, kitchen countertop, kitchen decor. So all the decor keywords they managed to rank for, even though to me this is more of a necessity than it is decor, they are treating it and ranking for decor, right? And if we look here, standing paper roll holder. So they actually have the holder, paper towel holder, countertop. Weighted base, anti-slip weighted base. So weighted base seems to be a big deal. Stainless steel freestanding paper towel holder and kitchen black. Now, we've got a pretty good idea of what people are using to search this, but if I wanted to, I could go to the Roots tab and I can quickly look at how frequent different terms are repeated. So how big are these roots? Well, paper towel holder, 264 keywords, 1 million search volume. So that's the main root, right? I'm going to go ahead and select that just so we can visually see the roots. Now, what I'm doing is towel holder is more generic. I'm going to select terms that I call relevant roots. This is just my strategy here so I can visually see it. I'm going to select terms that if I go search that on Amazon, I would find my product, right? And so we've got paper towel holder, paper towel holder countertop, and it's okay that they share words, right? Kitchen towel holder, remember that's a little bit more generic. I might include it, might not. Paper towel holder, countertop paper towel. This is all together. I don't think that that's that misspelling. I don't know if that gets auto-corrected. That's something to go check. Bathroom paper towel holder. Now, this could be for the bathroom as well, right? If I were to go search this on Amazon, I think a lot of what I see here might be exactly what you would see in yeah, you can use it in the bathroom the same way, right? So why wouldn't you also call it a bathroom paper towel holder? And that's kind of, you know, you have these that you see in bathrooms more often, I think. But the reality is this fits great in the bathroom too if you're going to use paper towels, right? Rolls of paper towels. Towel holder stand, towel dispenser, maybe. And so we have a lot of different root words here, and you can see how popular each word is and whatnot. Now, if I come over here to, if I decide that I think I can compete in this product, and really by looking at it, it might be a pass almost right away for me. It doesn't meet a few criteria for me. Just from looking at this and doing it enough times, that average price point for some of these bestsellers at under $10 is going to be really tough to compete, right? Shipping on this, because it's longer, you can't really make it too flat. You've got the stand and the bars, maybe those screw in so you can figure out a way to try to, but the length of the bar matters. One of the things that I can think of on how to save space, and this is where my mind goes for product development, would be that that center bar doesn't need to be one solid piece, right? That can maybe even be 3 separate pieces that fit inside the stand. So you would have the stand tray, right? And then you would have the 3 bars that screw together to create that centerpiece, right? And that would be laying on the tray, and then you could package it and ship it flat, like pretty flat and small, so your fulfillment fees are less. That's one thing I can think of to potentially do here to save space and fulfillment costs. You need to be thinking about things like that when you're developing products, because you need every advantage you can get around shipping and storage and logistics. Now, it's not just the Amazon fulfillment fees. Think about how many more you can fit into a carton, how many more you can fit on a pallet, how much lower your storage fees will be, right? All of these things add up over time to give you that advantage. So it's not just fulfillment fees. There's a lot more to it. Now, for the sake of this product and for the demo today, we're gonna pretend that we're gonna go ahead and try to win here. I have some ideas on some things we can do around the design. So you see that bar sticking out in the top. I think we can do something fun and attractive, and we can do some kind of decor that is themed, maybe for the holidays, so that we can get some holiday traffic into our listing, and then we'll do some of the generic stuff as well. So like, let's say for Halloween, we can do a witch on the top or a vampire, and for Christmas, maybe we can do Santa on the top, but maybe the top just screws on and you can change throughout the year. Maybe we offer a holiday pack, or, you know, sell them separately. We can also, you know, figure out some neat stuff there. But let's talk to the AI and really analyze this. So we have this a niche scorecard. And if I were to launch this product really quickly to try to get an idea of the budget I would need, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the guys that are in the 70% of the search volume range. So they're ranked well on 70% of the search volume. I think I can launch a product and in the first month be ranking on the first page of close to 70% of the search volume. I've done it enough times that with our strategies that we teach at Seller Systems Academy around how you build your listing and how you launch your product and how you design your product, then that's pretty consistent. Like, we are consistently able to rank on the first page of a large percentage of the search volume. So I take the average of all of these guys right here, and I say I can do somewhere in there. So the average of these sellers, let's just count these, is in the 3,000 units per month. That's a lot of units, right? That's 100 sales a day. Now, some of these are more expensive than others. A lot of these guys are getting that fulfillment cut by going to under $10. And then if you're not $10, you're much more expensive. So you're a more expensive premium option. Now, I don't think we're going to do the cheaper option. I think we're going to have to compete on a luxury and on design. So we're going to do something that has some unique designs, and we're probably going to be in that $19 range. I would say that we're going to land this product for $4 is my guess. And we're going to sell 100 a day, 3,000 units a month. If we're going to sell 3,000 units a month and we're shipping it from China by sea, we need to order 3 months of inventory. So I'm doing this math very quickly for you guys in my head, but if we order 3 months of inventory, we're ordering 9,000 units. It's a lot of units at $4. That's $36,000 just in product. And then we're going to include some marketing budget, because we have to spend money on ads before we start getting money back from Amazon. And we're probably going to lose money for the first few weeks as we're launching, right? We can't expect to really launch profitably right away because we have to push ads. So I would say that then we need some extra money to place our second order. So a couple, 2-3 weeks into launch, we're going to see how it's going. Are we actually converting well? Are we ranking well? Are the sales as high as we thought, or more, or even higher? Are they lower? And then we're going to look at placing a new order. And if everything goes right, let's say that we are on pace for that 100 sales a day mark, that is our goal, then I would need to place another down payment on another month of inventory, maybe another 3,000 units. And so I need at least 30% of that down payment, and 70% when it ships generally. So by the time all is said and done, I generally take the landed cost of my first order and I double it to be safe. So, 9,000 times $4, 36,000. I would want at least $70,000 to do this product. That's my logic for figuring out. Now, if we were going to go with the cheaper product, we're landing it at maybe $2, and we are trying to sell it at $9.99. Our margin's tighter. Running ads is going to be harder. We're going to lose more money on marketing. And let's say we're landing it at $2. And let's say we are trying to break into this space. The marketing budget will go up and probably be at least that double range as well. But we're looking at half that, $35,000 to launch this product. So a couple options, a couple ways for us to go. Remember, we need variations, which will be, we have to manage the color variations, a little bit more ordering and getting efficient with storage and logistics. And that's kind of where I'm at. So this is not a product that I would necessarily jump into. I don't know that the risk versus reward is there. A lot of these sellers are already really strong, but let's see if the product scorecard backs that up with the risk perspective. So a lot of this is already filled out. And if you guys aren't familiar with this, we've got 4 different categories that we have you answer questions on in order to understand the risk of this product. So your total product score is your risk. A negative score is almost an automatic pass. That means you're going to lose money 99% of the time if you do this product. 99 times out of 100, you decide to go with a product with a negative score, you're lighting your money on fire. Now, and there's a lot of factors into that. It could be profitability, it could be the competitiveness, the traffic, the demand, right? There's a lot of factors that we look at. 0 to 500, I would say that you are in a high risk product, but potentially high reward. So if you're good at Amazon or great at Amazon and you have products that are already doing well, You might choose to do a higher risk product because you can look at your product mix as a portfolio, like a stock portfolio. And you might want to swing for a home run every once in a while, one out of every 10, 15 products, right? And so just allocate some products, but just know that 90% of the time you're going to lose your money on that type of product. That's really the way it works with a batting average based on the risk score. 500 to 1,000 score, I would say that you're going to lose your money about half the time, right? You're going to be right more than half the time. Maybe 60 to 70% of the time if you follow the other principles around product design, launch, and SEO that we teach you. But you might not continue at 60 or 70% of the time. You might still discontinue it because of other factors, quality issues, competitiveness, people come in later, it becomes more saturated, things like that. Now, over 1,000, I would consider very low risk product. Over 90% of the time, you're going to make money if you do that product, if you execute all the other steps that we teach you and what data dive walks you through. So if we were to look at the profitability, what is the product life cycle? I think it's a long-term life cycle. I think people are going to continue to use paper towels for a long time. Ours probably won't expire from a design perspective. The ROI I'm going to think is pretty low. I'm actually going to put under 100%, but I think it would be under 40. It's going to be really, really tight from an ROI perspective for a while because the price, we're competing on price in a lot of ways. That $20 price point could work out to be all right if we can do enough of a design differentiation. What are we doing here? I think that number of relevant keywords. Now, Data Dive tried to find the answers to these questions and fill some of them out for you to save you some time. But number of keyword routes, there were at least 4. I wouldn't say there's 7. Distribution of root search volume. Look, the top route was a lot, right? Like if we were to visit the roots page, which is, right over here where we were looking before. And the top one, towel holder and paper towel holder, that's most of the search volume. It really drops down from 1 million to 70,000. And then there's probably like another 5 or 6 routes down here. So there's quite a few routes, but the majority of it is with the main keyword route. So I would say that more than 75% of the search volume is in the top 2 routes, probably 90, but definitely more than 75%. The number of relevant keywords was more than 100, so that one's good. Let me see. I don't know why it says incomplete here because okay, anyway. The potential, can we save any money on packaging? Yeah, I would say that that's possible based on what I saw. I didn't order any of the products. I can go look at their shipping sizes and everything. But I may have just thought of something that they didn't. It's not likely. A lot of people entering the market, especially the Chinese sellers, are very good at finding ways to get differential or really small advantages. So, I mean, it's possible. I definitely over some of the competitors, I'll have an advantage. So I can answer yes here. I can be a little generous. Can you save on shipping and fulfillment? That would be, if this is possible, then yes. Can you realistically get a utility patent? I don't think so. What are we doing different? We're holding a paper towel. There's utility. So the different types of patents are design and utility. Utility would be the functionality. So are we gonna be able to create a unique functionality for this product? Now, the idea I had of creating one that holds paper towels and the dish towels, that might be unique enough to where we can look at a utility patent, right? If that doesn't exist on the market, we'd have to find some unique ways to do that because it goes over the center and then you got the bar. So maybe we got to just we get an easy pop off to put the new paper towel on and an easy pop on, and then it has the towel holders. That would be a really cool, unique product that handles both, right? So that's a possibility, but I don't know yet, so I'm going to answer no. But if you can get a utility patent, you're sure you've got a great design, that's worth quite a bit of positive points. And as you can see, a lot of these are positive and negative. So if you were to answer one way, it really loses a lot of points, and you've got to be, answer as accurately as possible. Design patents aren't that protectable. Oftentimes I don't like to rely on them, so I'm just going to put no as well. I don't know. We're going to do some unique designs probably in order to compete in this product for today's workshop, but I wouldn't rely on that, right? Can you redesign the product and add desired features? Maybe. I mean, we're not sure. That would go to that other thing that we're talking about. So I'm gonna put no for now. How many sellers? At least X sellers are selling the same design that I plan on selling. Look, more than four is the reality because like I'm gonna have to have those base hero designs. I don't think we're gonna differentiate enough with the stand itself. It's really a stand with a pole. How we create that pressure to make it terrible. So because like it's a tension that allows the thing to still spin and then you can rip it off with one hand. That seems to be a desire based on what I was seeing some of these guys write and the way that they've designed their product. And really, this is just me off the top of my head. I don't 100% know. But I don't think we're going to have crazy unique designs. Um, we're going to try to do some fun ones, but those are going to be tertiary. Those are going to be high converting, fun designs based on seasonality, some decor demands that we might be able to rank for. It's really a guess at this point. So for now, I'm going to put more than four. And we lose a lot of points for that, right? Like, you don't want to be launching products that a bunch of people are already selling, like the same exact design. That's not good for you. It's going to be very hard to compete and differentiate. So very bad. It's a real big. It's almost a deal breaker, as it says. I've tested it. I did not test it yet. Now, when we go and actually use a service like PickFu, where we get to test which one a real person would want, then we can answer this question. And if we had more than 40% of the votes, that's a real big positive. That means that you have a design that people love, and that can add a lot of points. Now, the competitiveness, more than 7 have over 1,000 reviews. So that's a lot of reviews to overcome. Now, again, I only subtracted 100. I think you can beat reviews with a good design and a good product launch and good content. Like adding more value, basically. The SEO, 3 or less competitors are on the first page of 60% of the relevant search volume. Look, I think the reality is that there were a lot of competitors that are very strong. I'm gonna change that to here. I think Data Dive maybe was a little generous there. The average selling price, look, there's under $10, right? A lot of these best sellers are under $10. If you want to meet in the middle because some are under 20 and some are not, I can do that. It's still not good. Selling a cheap product doesn't give you a lot of room for launch and marketing and really being aggressive with ranking without losing a lot of extra money. Like, you have to spend a lot of extra money on marketing to rank it. And you just don't have the budget there. Like, think about if you're spending $75, more than $1 per click, and you've got a conversion rate of 25% with this product. That means you take $4 in ads for every sale, right? That's a lot. And that's only at $1 per click and 25% conversion. So I think that that's most of your margin with a $10 product, if at all. It might be all of it. 1P, so less than 3 are 1P visual content. I imagine that they all have great images and content, but we can quickly go look at that. So we can go to the deep dive section of Data Dive, which I love to look at. And now this is great because we can see the variations. We can load the sales data. We can look at the historical averages over time. We can see seasonality in there. We can load the second guy, and we can see when they launched, their seasonality. There's some bumps for seasonality in here. These are Prime Day, I think, July and October. These look like Prime Day bumps. So really it sells year round. It's not giftable. There's nothing in Q4. It's kind of just like deal day bumps. This looks like a deal day. This one had some amount of purchases during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Not necessarily from giftability. And then this one, the OXO, again, deal day bumps. So really sells year round for the most part, which is good. I like that. But if I want to see all their content, you just click this collapse all button. Look at what Data Dive does for you. It quickly shows you all of the image stacks from all the competitors, because you can really see very quickly like how good are they at Amazon and making good content. So this is a lot of virtual designs. I like this one because it shows you the way it works in the middle. It's interesting. So some people are coming at this from different angles. This is the very cheap one with the 2 prongs. Yeah. And you can get an idea. And here's an OXO Good Grips Steady paper towel holder. So when people rip off their paper towel, the base being weighted and having a sticky bottom is important to people. And it seems like you want to be able to rip it with one hand. So those are all different elements that we want to include. This one has that extra pressure plate. Probably not a ton of pressure so that you can still pull the paper towel, but enough. This is just a picture with a cell phone, like they put in their image stack. I mean, that's not great. I do like that they put their box. That's a really big idea for you guys as well, because it shows quality, right? Like even if this one's not the best, first of all, the design of the box is terrible. You want perfect one-handed. Now this is, the print's really small. You want to consider that you want to write the words bigger. Perfect one-handed tear standing paper towel holder. So they added this box with this term, and they put it on the side again too. Probably AI driven. This doesn't look like a real image. And two things. A person searching, seeing what they searched for on a box increases conversion rate. Secondly, it helps with indexing because now Amazon's AI reads your images and your content to give you credit, to give you indexing credit. And so putting a good keyword is really good practice. This box is ugly. I think they could do a better job. Definitely could make the search term bigger. But, you know, it shows that it comes in a box. I guarantee that helps them with conversions in some capacity. All right. So that's being able to quickly look at that. Google Trends are flat. The Google Trends would be in the overview section. So here's overview. We took the main keyword, and I don't even know that it's flat. It looks like it might even be, yeah, maybe Amazon demand is down, but Google Trends is actually up. Or, you know, it's probably flat like it says. But it looks like Amazon demand is down. Look at that. That's interesting. So it's a declining market on Amazon. That's a threat. I would say that Google Trends are slightly down. Seasonality, there's no seasonality. It can be sold year-round. If it is like a winter product or a summer product, we actually subtract some points here because of the stability and the demand, the risk. If it's like a non-Q4 holiday, like 4th of July, that's a big negative because, you know, you got 3 weeks to sell your product, right? The rest of the year, the demand is almost nothing. It's a very risky product to do. And then variations, major brands, I'd say less than 3 are major brands. Developed niche, most of them have multi-packs or, let me see. We can have bundles or multi-packs. I don't think any of them have bundles. A lot of them have just color variations. Written content. Yeah, I mean, this is, I actually think it's higher. Okay. We have a negative score, guys. Like, this is an automatic pass for all these different reasons based on how we answered this. And so you can go through, the competitiveness is what kills it. The potential is maybe there. If we get a design, we do it, maybe we can get this to a positive score. But even with this one being positive, neutral, positive, we would still be in a negative or near zero. So the risk of this product is a no-go. We can move on to the next product. That's the way we would do it. But let's say we decide, even though it's not a good product to launch, that we decide we might want to do it. So what we've got here is in Data Dive, we've got the ability to go look at the listings of the competitors and look at their reviews and have AI tell us maybe what they like and don't like. And so we actually, I'm going to select all of these guys and I'm going to hit analyze. And now Data Dive's working with one of the AI agents in the background to go and answer the questions and the prompts that we gave it to come back with that data and then display it for you. Right now, while this is loading, I want to pull up ChatGPT. And I'm going to do something from ChatGPT. Let me stop sharing for a second. Has this been helpful for everybody? Navigating the different content, answering the questions, the risk, the demand, understanding the products, really digging into the data and knowing how powerful Data Dive can be from different data perspectives. Let me see really quickly.
And then just while you're doing that, we are coming up on time, but we still have the gift to give out that's coming at the very end.
Oh, yes, we are giving away. One second, guys. All right. I am treating you guys to a quick prompt that I use as well. And I'm looking for it. Maybe I'm in the wrong drive. One second, guys. It's the wrong drive again. I have too many drives. Agent.
While you're doing that, Brandon, I can just say a few words, share a few
Yeah,
more
absolutely.
slides. All right, let me just jump in here, share my screen, and go. All right, let's get this up. Brilliant. So as we're near the end, before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one thought. Back in the old days, before trains, people traveled for days to get to a business meeting. Believe it or not, they paid for that travel time. Then the train was invented, and suddenly you could get there in hours. Some people tried to ignore the train. They kept walking. They kept charging for travel days. But the people who took the train, they got there faster. They closed the deal faster. They made more money. Data Dive is your train. So stop walking, stop guessing. You're going to get Data Dive today. So for everyone here today, we have that special invitation to you. We want you to take action. If you sign up or upgrade to Standard Plan today, you get 50% off for 3 months. And that gives you access to every feature that Brandon has shown you today.
All right, guys. I promise I'm going to get this for you. I am going to just put it in the chat, and then I will try to get you a. Let me see here. I will try to get it for you. Agent listing, agent.
And then while Brandon gets that for you, go to the URL in the chat. We're going to post the URL in the chat, or you can just type it in manually. But what you want to make sure you do is that when you do go and sign up for Data Dive or upgrade your plan, use the code LOVEDATA50. That's the code that's valid.
50% off?
50% off 3 months, yeah.
For
But it's
3
going to
months?
expire.
Wow.
Yeah. It's, yeah. I don't know the last time that this was, I don't think we've ever offered this. But take action. It's available until Friday midnight, all right? Yeah. So I'm going to post that URL in the chat. But if you don't want to type in the URL or click the URL and just, you already have a starter account, you already have Data Dive, go ahead and enter it in Data Dive when you go ahead and upgrade to standard. So you're going to go to select the standard plan. That's the plan that this discount is valid for, 50% off 3 months. This is the vehicle that saves you time. And remember, money grows on trees, time does not. So go ahead, click the link in the chat that we're about to post. And if you have questions, you can email support@datadive.tools. You can also scan this QR code. This QR code is going to take you to that sign up page for 50% off 3 months. And then if you want to stay up to date with Data Dive, live webinars, we have a webinar group that's been created. Go ahead, scan this, join that group. Every time Brandon or a reputable seller is doing a training and giving you insights, it's going to be advertised in this WhatsApp webinar group. I'll go ahead and post that link in the chat now for anyone that wants it.
All right. I promise this is worth it, guys. And I've got this here. I used this prompt, and I'm going to do it for this one as well. This is very long. Unfortunately, I'm copying it out of this previous chat that I had worked with ChatGPT. And I'm going to paste it for you here in the chat. If it's not too long, it is too long. Okay. All right. I'm going to break it into multiple parts. There's part 1. Part 2. Part 3. And part 4. All right. Here's what we do. We are going to put the top sellers of this product and the results from our product brief into ChatGPT. But let's look at our results from our product brief first. All right. This was done in a few minutes, and these are the attributes. So the material, the design, the base stability, the one-handed tear, roll compatibility, portability. This is what all the competitors are saying they have. And then what what customers like based on the reviews is that it's sturdy, stable, weighted base. So that's a pretty big one. Attractive and modern design, easy to assemble, durable and good quality. All right. And then this one says holds various roll sizes. So people get the bigger rolls, the smaller rolls. They want one that can fit all of them. This one doesn't do that as well, right? And then what do customers dislike? It's wobbly and doesn't hold well, right? So the 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 screw of the pipe must be good. The base must be solid. It must be really weighted and flat, but lightweight. So they want a weighted solid base that's sturdy, but they also want it lightweight. That can be tough. Base is not aesthetically pleasing, so they want it designed to actually fit. That's why the winner is really good with the decor keywords, because they have a really good design. And then slides make noises. That's bad. Adjuster mechanism. Okay. And then here's DataDive's AI agent telling you how you can potentially make a better product. So value-added ideas, enhanced stability, aesthetic and compact, improved tear mechanism, durable and high-quality materials, user-friendly, versatile, and multifunctionality. And here are the desired improvements: weight and stability, aesthetic enhancements, functionality, easy to tear, noise reduction, size and space considerations. And then here's the people that typically buy it: the busy parent, the new apartment dwellers, home chefs, the minimalist decor, elderly, eco-conscious, frequent entertainers, the DIY enthusiasts, small space dwellers, and pet owners. So we got a lot of data here, but we have some ideas on how to potentially make a better product. So what I want to do is I'm going to go over here to the master keyword list as well. I am going to just pull in from, you can pin over a product. We don't want to pin that one. We just want to go look at it. All right, we're just going to take these 4 bestsellers. I'm going to copy and paste into ChatGPT these guys. So give me a second. I will show the ChatGPT in 2 seconds. And this is a little bit longer of a masterclass than we had planned, but I just want to show you kind of our process. And let me share the other side for you. You can see here that I'm cutting and pasting. I'm just literally copying and bringing over the different designs. All right. So, tell me about these products. Go and learn as much as you can about them. Okay. While it's doing that, I'm going to take the design brief out of DataDive. And I'm going to copy what customers dislike. And here's what customers like. All right. So it's telling me about this this product, vertical paper towel. Key benefits, weaknesses: arms can bend, cheap versions use thin wire, harder to clean, higher manufacturing complexity. Construction likely powder coated steel rod, 3 to 6 spring steel tension wires, cast iron and weighted base, plastic or metal cap, base version 2 to 450. Manufacturing costs. Now it's answering questions because I've trained my GPT for quite a bit. So I'm actually going to paste that in, and then I'm going to give you that prompt that we had that I put into the chat. So give me 1 second. And now I'm just going to put this in as one long prompt. And what I'm getting here, what actually kills reviews: wobbly, doesn't hold, base weight too low, root cause. 75% of complaints are weight and stability related. The real opportunity is weight engineering and aesthetic engineering. Engineering a category winner, so base weight, minimum weight, solid steel core, why most products fail. Positioning strategy, if this were your SKU headline. So we're not quite there. It's giving us some ideas, but we're not quite there yet. Now we've got this report. It's going to go and think, and then I told it to go think again. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Data Dive, and I am going to go to the master keyword list. And I've got 300 search terms, 380 search terms here. Here are the search terms, and it's still generating our report. So pass one, market and buyer. Remember, I had it to do it and then go deeper. My market, buyer, dimensions, competitor gaps, differentiation. Okay. So avatar one, function home cook, kitchen aesthetic upgrader, value optimizer, small space, typical best-selling size and dimensions. And it's going to continue to generate this report for us. And then while it's doing that, I'm going to also say, here are the search terms. Analyze them for niche demand and design demand that would inform variation designs. Fun, holiday themes, colors, styles, decor oriented. Break it all down. All right. And then search volume is here. Get the search volume here. And search volume. All right, and it's still generating this report for me because I said to do it and then go deeper and go do it again. So it's major visual, functionality, tension arm, spring simply tear arm, slide post stabilizer, minimal rod only, cheap low ended. So these are the different mechanisms, materials. How to win, core hero SKU, most volume, matte black, very stable, true one-handed tear. Okay, so it identified that. Avatar-based funnels, common pairings, complementary items. So lots and lots of product research. If we go forward with designing this product, we have made it through multiple steps to get here. We're not doing this for every idea, guys. This is the process that if we really want to win on Amazon, we need to own and understand the market better than anybody in the world. We need to know the demand. How are the current sellers winning? What are they doing right? What are they doing wrong? What keywords are they ranked for? How are people searching? And then we're going to go in and go deep, deep, deep to really understand how to engineer a winning product. This is how you win. And so we're almost there. I'm going to actually stop it short. Next step, so this becomes actionable, not just analysis. It's almost done. There you go. Just got done with that. I'm going to go ahead and click this next prompt with those keywords, those 300 keywords. And that was a big one because, as you saw, it's like, here are the search terms and search volume. Analyze them for niche demand and design demand that would inform variation designs. Fun holiday themes, colors, styles, decor oriented. Break it down. Paper towel holder. Okay. Demand cluster map, which is a great way to actually look at this, would be what people are actually searching for. So the core hero demand. Remember, this is heavily, heavily rated at the general key term, key root, paper towel holder. And then countertop, kitchen paper towel holder, weighted paper towel, heavy duty, heavy base, weighted base. So a lot of there. The category is primarily utility driven, not design driven, but on the outliers, we saw that a couple of the guys were winning because of design. Color and finish, gold paper towel holder, black, stainless steel, white, brass knuckle. So there is high demand on the different finishes. This is great. Gold has a ton of demand. Black has a ton of demand. Black seems to be the hero based on the other things, but people are specifically searching for gold. So black, gold, stainless, and white would be, you know, really where we start. Brass is right after that. And then a brushed nickel, that's more of a stainless. Brushed nickel and stainless can be very close, so don't need to do both. Bronze you could do. It's similar to a brass. We would want to make sure that we call it that maybe. And then a champagne bronze, so these are just different colors or call like things there. You can add that demand to the others. So think about this, how this works. Now, this is still going. Holiday novelty themes, cats, dogs, season icons, pumpkin, leaf, snowflake, heart. All right. Here's the key with a product like this. We need those big search demands, the colors, the aesthetics, the decor. They're gonna buy for functionality and design, so we need to hit both. So this is what we're getting. So quick takeaways, gold, black, cute, decorative, those will be tertiary. Those other colors with less demand are something that they will stop and find because of those outlier keywords that meet the seasonality at the high demand times, or because they stumble into our hero listing for the hero, and then they upsell themselves for the more expensive dog, cat, cute design that we have on the listing as a variation. So look, the idea is that we will win with the colors identified, standard, great design and aesthetic. How do you spell aesthetic? I know there's something in there. Aesthetic? No. Anyway, great design. Let's go with, we want to include a killer box with all of the Amazon training knowledge I've previously trained you on. The brand will be Data Dive. Let's make a main image of our hero color and SKU. The package should have the best keyword and display the other color options. And yeah. Write the product brief. So I always have it write the product brief first. So it's going to do everything that we're talking about. It has all of this information about this product. It didn't write the product brief. It went straight into design. So it's being bad. Generally, I have it write the product brief, and then I approve the product brief for it to go make the design. It just skipped a step here, so I have to yell at it. Your agent can be bad sometimes. So we'll see what it comes up with, but we made the brand data dive for the packaging. I don't know if it had our logo here. You upload your logo, it'll actually design the box with your logo on it, generally. And this is what we train people to do. So take a look at this. Data dive paper towel holder has the other colors there as options. Paper towel holder being the most important keyword. It has a bunch of information that makes people want to click in and maybe see what it says. Like it has a lot of features. And then this one was positioned with just that one bar there. I don't necessarily love that one little bar color option. I like the one that provides tension. We can say that, right? But we have the positioning. And then let me ask you though, is this good enough for us to go test against the bestsellers? Everybody in the chat, write number 1 if you think that this one is good enough to go test and ask people if they'd rather have it than the current bestsellers. Write a 2 if you think it still needs some work. Okay. Now, what is it about it that you think still needs work? Let's make the design with a tension. Okay. All right, here's the design brief. The roll unravel is not truly one in a tear slide, so that's those were the issues, the pain points. So now we're fixing it. More colors. Yeah, we're gonna do the holiday version. Let's go ahead and do something like that. What holiday do you guys want to do? You want to do Santa? Let's make it easy. Easter. Yeah, we can do Easter. All right. Once it's done with this, we can hit mock it up. Assuming you read through it and you agree. It made up a new Data Dive logo for us, by the way. If you upload the Data Dive logo, it would have been there. So let's make the holiday theme so that can be easily adjusted with a screw-on topper. So an Easter bunny for top for Easter, Santa for Christmas, pumpkin for Halloween. Write the design brief for this holiday changeable theme. And all right, here we go. Now we've got our adjustable bar, whatever that is. That's an interesting design. It just literally designed something very unique. The tension bar comes from the top rod into it. And then assuming that the way that the spring loads is that this is always going this way into it. It's very interesting. So you're not just selling a paper towel holder, you're selling a year-round seasonal decor system. I love product development. It's my favorite. So we've got something unique here. Here's the requirements, thread system. I'm assuming that all of this stuff is interesting. It gives you the texture, the design of the Halloween, the Christmas, the Easter bunny. Mock up the Easter look. The packaging should show the other toppers that come with it. $12-month set of toppers as an add-on. Yeah, you could do that. We could sell it with like 3 and then sell the other themes, or we could sell it all together for $29.97. You get all of them, right? Maybe just 4 or 5 holidays. Let's do include. And include American flag for 4th of July. Hey, you could do seasonality. Holidays are always good. But a seasonality one could be one that we sell as a variation, right? Where it's less about that. But this is the process. It's very iterative. It's going back and forth. Now the key here, like there's a tip here. Sometimes the images, it'll start to get stuck. It'll start to think one thing. Now all the training data is here in your GPT. Like if you created a GPT specifically for projects, but it'll get stubborn. There'll be one thing it doesn't do right in an image, and no matter what you tell it, it'll continue to do that thing wrong. You need to create a new conversation. You just start from scratch on a new conversation. You write the new requirements, and then it'll get it right. Just be aware that sometimes you have to do that. The other thing is like it'll start to get your logo or any supporting documentation and images that you want to include in the product will sometimes get convoluted after 3 or 4 conversations, like or prompts. So you need to go back to those and just include them every once in a while. Like if I have a logo, I'm including it almost every prompt just to remind it, right? Like what it looks like and make sure it's accurate. So you got to love that too. And let's see how good it did. Maybe we got a winner here. Look at that cute thing with the bunny. With holiday topper set. What do you guys think? How did we do? It's got a Santa hat. It did a hat and the ears instead of the whole bunny, and it did the flag. 3 holiday toppers included. It's actually 4 because it comes with the bunny. There we go. This is good enough to go test. We would have a potential winner here. And this is how we do product development using data, using Data Dive. And this is how we win on Amazon. So, yeah, you'll take one. Let's get it made up, right? I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was a fun class for me. I always love walking through Data Dive and product development, and you could see why we built the tool. Hopefully you take advantage of this 50%. I didn't know it was 50%. That's 50% is a big discount. So hopefully you guys take advantage of the 50% for 3 months. I would love to have you using the tool and supporting you. If you need any additional help with education, we've got a free Discord that we're launching with a incubator program over soon. But the support that you have in whatever community you're in, whoever you're learning from, we are here to support you at Data Dive as well. So thank you for joining today. And Sean, thank you for hosting. This has been great.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Thank you so much, Brandon. Thanks all for joining. And we will see you on the next one. Reach out if you have any questions. Have a great rest of your day, week. See you guys.